Could the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes finish the story?
Could the man recapture gold, or was mommy always be on top? Hit it, Dave.
Hey, welcome to the show. It's Chandler.
Hey, this guy's Chad.
And unfortunately, no Daver here. He's got to work, so I hope he has a speedy recovery with that. But it's time for our WrestleMania XL or 40 review. Before we get too far into it, Chad, did you enjoy the show? Was it okay?
God, I loved it. I kind of hate to say it because, like, Dave's probably going to frown at me, but I kind of think I'm a WWE guy again.
Yeah, they're so hot right now. I'm hearing a lot of people say it, but I'm just going to echo it. They're so hot right now, they really can't do anything wrong. Like, we're recording this on the Tuesday after Mania, which we'll get onto in just a second, but we're recording it on the Tuesday after Mania. So we got to watch the Raw after Mania. That started with, 75 minutes without wrestling? That's crazy for a wrestling show, but they made it work.
Yeah, 40 minutes of just, the intro, no commercials, and I was hooked. Like, the announcers didn't even talk for almost 25 minutes. It was great.
Yeah, but we're not reviewing the Raw after WrestleMania. We're reviewing WrestleMania. But before we get into it, I'd like to apologize to Chad, Dave, and all the Grapple Sauce wrestling fans out there. Someone, I don't know who, slept through all their alarms and missed their 8 a.m. record time. So, to make up for it, I'm going to do my predictions challenge that I would have done if I had lost. By the way, I won, but we'll get into that. But what I was going to do was I was going to have one super sour candy from the, World's End review?
Yeah.
And one little bit of the last stab from our Revolution review. A little bit of both. So before I read off the numbers, we're going to do this real quick.
Sick fudge. You sick fudge.
Oh, this is going to be awful.
The fudge is for the Daver.
That's all we get.
Oh my god, that's a decent little chunk though. That stuff's kind of potent.
Oh, and it's I'm sorry. I love you.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
Oh, it's gross.
Probably not as gross as Prime. By the way, can you believe those guys are spitting that shit into each other's eyes? Like I bet you The Rock has pink eye now.
Yeah. I was joking about I was joking about it with some friends. Sorry, I'm hiccupping to do that when I eat spicy food. That they kept throwing people into that Prime station because that was the wrestlers pissy that it was Prime sponsored all over the damn show. Because it was kind of distracting. Some of the some of the sponsorships did get a little distracting. Especially, I think Dude Wipes was a big one.
Yeah.
That one was it didn't help that match was unfortunately probably the worst one on the show. Ugh. Okay. Now we're just at the candy. It's okay. Never doing another one of those ever again.
Yeah.
But we did it. Okay. So,
although
I won.
What do you think was worse, getting the Prime in your eyes or, in your mouth?
Ooh, in your mouth. So in your mouth. I went to a Costco once, right? Because I have a membership, and I was doing samples. I had one sip of Prime. One little sip of Prime. Disgusting. Never again. This podcast is not sponsored by Prime. I would like to say that. So I won. I had 34 points in total, which I didn't think I'd get that many, but there was a lot, especially night 2, that I was like, all in on LA Knight, all in on Lashley, all in on all these people, and that really helped me win. But some of the side bets that were interesting, just to report, there was a Money in the Bank cash in.
Yeah, so the Daver got that, right?
There was no big reveal or debut or return, so I'm the only one who got that right. This one I gave myself because it was the point difference was too far. Lesnar did return. They mentioned him. They haven't done that.
Yeah.
But if I didn't take that and I gave it to you guys as if Lesnar didn't return, I would have gotten 33. Chad would have gotten 27, and Dave would have
Oof.
gotten 26.
Oh my God. He almost beat me.
Yeah,
Oh.
but I like how I'm the only one who said Dave won't win, and that just gave me another point, maybe.
I was
But
kind of hoping it would come to a tie and that would be the tiebreaker. That would have been hilarious.
I think him picking he went all in on Roman. He went all in on Jade losing. No, he didn't. He went
No, he
2 and
split
1,
it.
but still.
Yeah.
A lot of things like that kept Dave down. But hey, he did pretty well. He got what? I think he's the only one who said Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. I'm almost done. All right.
Yeah. That looked terrible.
It was. Now that it's somewhat subsided and my tongue is only kind of on fire, let's get into the show. So WrestleMania Night 1 started off with Triple H coming out. I kind of hoped for a little bit more. Like, I was thinking of WrestleMania 30's intro with Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, and The Rock. But it was just Triple H to say welcome to WrestleMania, which is fine. It's Michael Cole's 23rd WrestleMania, which is insane. And we started off with Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley. Now, this was a match that I was really excited about, and I hate to say it, the match didn't exactly live up to my expectations. It was still really good, but apparently Becky Lynch had a 102 fever and just had strep throat, what was dealing with it, and Rhea Ripley had a panic attack like an hour before the show. That's amazing that they still went out there and had an excellent match like that, considering all the circumstances. Like, that makes me like the match even more that it was that good and they were struggling that much.
Yeah, no, that's like Michael Jordan coming out with 102 fever. Like, bravo.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, those two women are highly respected, but all the respect on those women. Like, my goodness, they're excellent.
And my God, Rhea's entrance, she looked like $1 million.
Mm-hmm. For someone who had a panic attack an hour before, it looked like the exact opposite. It looked like she gave someone a panic attack an hour before. So this match, pretty dang good. So there's so many moves, I kind of lost count throughout the whole thing. But I remember basically Becky Lynch tried to hit a leg drop on Rhea Ripley when she was in the prison trap. That shit was awesome. Lynch was just rolling out of everything Ripley could do. So it's just amazing how smooth she can be with that. And then I loved how Rhea Ripley hit a manhandle slam, and Lynch was the first one to ever kick out of it. And then Lynch almost immediately countered with her own manhandle slam, and Ripley kicked out. But it was still awesome. I loved the bit where Lynch had Rhea in the disarmer, and Rhea Ripley basically skinned the cat to get over the top rope and gave Lynch an electric chair to the outside. That was stupid. And then Ripley hit a frog splash, which I never see her do, but that was pretty cool. Shout out to her boyfriend's dad. And then basically the finish was awesome. Ripley hit a riptide onto the ring apron and then a riptide in the middle of the ring and pinned Lynch fair and square. So I guess mommy's still on top. How'd you feel about it, Chad?
I loved it. Like I said, I'm a huge Rhea fan. Always been a Becky fan too. So it was great to see them have their WrestleMania moment. Love the match. Was super stoked to see Rip. Who's gonna eventually? Is she gonna be the next Roman? Are we gonna be a year or two down the road, wondering, okay, who the hell's gonna take this belt off of her?
Maybe. I know a lot of people are setting up Liv Morgan and believing Liv Morgan, and that's someone, probably the woman that I would believe the most. Kind of like Cody, where it's that's the one I'd believe the most. But they can always do something with Sami Zayn and be like, well, you didn't expect it to be him, but it is him. So we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But fantastic match. That was literally in my notes. Who takes it next? Liv? But great match.
Yeah, moving on. Maybe Jade way down the line, but I feel like she ain't ready.
No, she might beat Bailey, but might later. Moving on, we got the 6-pack challenge for the tag team championships. Both the Raw and SmackDown ones were defended separately. DIY had a pretty fun DX cosplay. I liked it. And then when the Awesome Truth came out, the graphic for the New Catch Republic was still playing. Oh, no. It was when the New Catch Republic came out, the Awesome Truth's graphic was still playing. That was funny. Felt bad for them. And then one other thing. I liked Judgment Day's look. It looked pretty neat.
Yeah.
And then Xavier Woods was dressed up as his old TNA character. I can't remember his name. It's like Apollo or what.
Yeah, it was C word, something Creed.
Yeah, I know it's Creed.
It's
I'm
right
so
on
sorry.
the top of my head.
I heard it today and I forgot, but I never watched TNA, so that's my excuse. But he came out basically dressed like his old TNA persona, so that was pretty sick. And then there was a Batman Begins Scarecrow reference to Finn Balor as soon as he got in the ring, so I, of course, loved that. I geeked out. But this was just a car crash. Just a car crash the whole goddamn time. I loved Bates' airplane spin with Balor on top of him and then a ladder on top of him. Poor
Took
Balor.
some great bumps.
What's up with Balor and ladders at Mania? Because last year Edge threw the ladder at him and it cut him wide open.
Yeah.
But
I saw him on Twitter. Twitter either yesterday or today. Like he's showing off all his bumps and bruises and scrapes. He's like, well, at least there weren't any staples this year.
Yeah, Finn. I love Finn Balor so much. You know, I want so much more for him, but he's maybe not now, maybe later, but I love Finn Balor so much. Anyways, they mentioned the Hell in the Cell match, by the way, but they didn't mention Edge, so fuck him. And then, so there's so many moves. Basically, Damian Priest, razor edged Tyler Bate onto Pete Dunne onto the ladder. That was pretty silly. And then I remember Ciampa hit an air raid crash to the outside. I didn't even know what move that was when he hit it. I was just like, he just fell and died. And then just Johnny Gargano's like where he goes over the rope and does a DDT. Does it have a specific name to it?
Or I think they usually just call it slingshot DDT.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
That was incredible. I really thought DIY was going to win, but actually, no one guessed it. No one said these guys' names. Not even like in our 3 group. No one. Grayson Waller and Austin Theory got the first 2 belts. How'd you feel about that?
Oh, it was great. I ended up picking Awesome Truth and them at our pick'em at the party I was at watching night 1. And it was about the only thing I got right. But I love it. They're basically the Miz of this generation. Like they're just dudes you want to punch in the face and kind of love to hate. I thought it was a good call.
Yeah, I really like Grayson Waller. Actually, I'm not the biggest fan of Austin Theory. Austin Theory could do well. They just don't do well with him. So that's why I don't really like him because like I just haven't seen it. But I have faith that they could do something. But I was kind of annoyed at it, but then it made sense when you saw who won the Raw titles. It's like, oh, you made the pop for that way better, which makes sense. But to continue, Grayson Waller got powerbombed through a ladder. That was pretty stupid. And then everyone was messing up that Prime display. I just couldn't get over it. I thought it was so funny. And then I loved the bit where Damian Priest was going up the ladder and the referee was like pulling his pants, like, you need to stop, you need to stop. And I was like, why? What the hell? It's like, are they just like, oh, this match is going too far? You need like what? But it was the ladder. One of the legs was about to bust. And there was a bit where Priest and Truth were fighting on it and it was about to fall over. It was insane. And then Truth finally beats Priest, gets the belt, and wins the Raw Tag Team Champions for him and Miz. And you know what? Up until the moment it happened, I was against it. And then it happened. And I was like, it's great. That's great. So,
yeah. Had a good payoff on Raw, too. I loved it. It was like, for me, that was my popcorn match of the night. Like, we were all just yelling and screaming and having a good time at the TV. Nobody really seemed to care, like, who was going to win. And we were just like, woo, car crash. This is epic. Then the payoff on Raw the night after was pretty great too.
Oh yeah, in case you haven't seen it, the Judgment Day, especially it was Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest were like, oh, we have the 2 top titles in Raw, we're the best. And then they're holding them up and R-Truth just sneaks right in and he holds them up. And he's like, I got the tag team belts back for the Judgment Day, guys. And then of course they had a great 6-man tag with a partner you can't see. It was
it Little Jimmy?
No, it was the You Can't See Me man.
Oh.
Anyways, fun match. Next up, we had Rey Mysterio and Andrade. He finally got that WrestleMania match versus Santos Escobar and Dirty Dom. This match was all right. You know, it was kind of just a filler match. Like something's got to calm the crowd down after that tag team match. might as well be this one. Andrade did my favorite move that he does, which is his fake out knee to the elbow, which I've said it when we reviewed him in AEW, which is weird to think about. That was only like 4 months ago.
Yeah.
But when we reviewed him then, I was like, I love it where it looks like he fucks up a kick and then kills him with his elbow. I love that. And he did it to Dom, and it killed Dom. It's an excellent move. And then Andrade
stuff just looks like legit and stiff. It's amazing.
Andrade put Rey Mysterio on his shoulders and did a double crossbody. That was stupid, but again, pretty fun. Andrade had an excellent dragon screw, which I always say, but holy crap, it's weird seeing dragon screws in WWE. I see him like every episode of AEW. I never see him in WWE, so I always like to see it. Andrade did his double moonsault. All of this is just the Andrade spots, right? That was the best part of the map is whatever Andrade did. There was that one splash from, I think his name is Joaquin Wilde, where they like slingshotted him.
That was amazing.
For someone who I never remember, that was pretty cool. Good job, man. You had your little WrestleMania moment.
Yeah, he got some distance.
Mm-hmm. And then the panic attack I had when those two big Lucha Mask guys came out, I was like, this has got to be wrestlers, but who? Like, I don't recognize the body shape. This doesn't make sense. And the first one took it off, and I was Jason Kelsey. I was like, don't you be Travis Kelsey. Don't you dare. I was going to be so pissed. But it was Nathan Lane, right? Is that right?
Sports ball.
It was
so over my head. 2
Philadelphia Eagles. I know it was Jason Kelsey. I know that. It was 2 of the Philadelphia Eagles, and they came out to help, which is like, oh, duh. There's always got to be a football player running. Makes sense. It's just kind of like Rey Mysterio needs it again to win, which is whatever. But I thought the match was fine.
Yeah, it was kind of good. It was the right match to put where they did. They needed sort of a cool off spot, and this didn't have a ton of heat to begin with, and kind of the outcome was kind of, well, I don't know. I didn't call it right, but the outcome was pretty obvious.
Yeah, Dominic's got to get a win over Rey at some point, right? They got to do that.
Hope so.
They got to do that. Oh, what were you saying?
Dirty Dom is like wicked hot. Like, why? I don't get why they wouldn't put him over, but
almost like, don't you want to build Santos Escobar too? Because you've been steadily building him over, but at least Andrade got to win, right? Like, that's something we can look forward to. But maybe it's the hair versus mask match, and Dom wins it by unmasking Rey, and like that'll be Rey's last match. And the reason he's not doing it is because like he's not ready to retire. So if like that's the reasoning, I'm fine with it. Cool. But just gotta wait. Finally, this match, probably the most heavily contested, not in the ring, but outside of the ring with the fans, match of the week. This was Jimmy and Jay, Brother Warfare. Before we get to the match, before we get to the introductions, how about that video package, huh? Whoo, boy, that shit was fire. As our production guy, how'd you feel about it?
I mean, it's one of the reasons why I love watching Mania. Like, you can go the whole year without watching WWE, and you watch the show, and like the video packages just boom, bring you in. But I think that was probably, except for maybe the Cody stuff, the best one of the whole weekend.
Yeah, that Cody one was emotional.
Yeah, no, man, and the one on Raw, ooh, it made me feel stuff.
Yeah, Cody's the best.
Yeah,
he's the best. But start off with the match. And I would say this match had a bad omen to begin with because they had a musical guest. And unlike the guy who sang Rhea Ripley's theme, this guy, Lil Wayne, right? I know Lil Wayne. It was awful. Yeah. They hyped him up as the greatest rapper of all time. No, that's not true. But
that's Will Smith. I like him. He raps happy.
Exactly. So he hyped up Jey Uso to come out. And this match started kind of hot for me. I liked it in the beginning. And then they just kind of super kicked each other over and over and over. And it was slow. And then there was a little bit where Jimmy was trying to reconcile. And everyone was like, no, you idiot. Like, it wasn't like people fell for it. People like saw right through it, which is unfortunate, but it makes sense. And then Jey Uso won. And that was about it. How'd you feel?
So my expectation was like Cody, Dustin Rhodes, Owen, and Brett. Like, and we got a Monday Night Raw wrestling match. It was kind of a letdown.
Well, they wanted there to be like you wanted, like, you could tell they were going for something with the super kicks. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, they're equally matched, but it's like, no, they're not. We like in a tag team, sure, they're equally matched, but when they're fighting each other, when they're solo, no. And it's just because Jimmy hasn't had the character work that Jay has, so people didn't really buy it. In my mind, I'm like, well, Jey Uso got to win at WrestleMania. I'm kind of just like putting that all up to it, and he was very well handled in the main event of night 2, which we'll get to.
Yes.
But that's about it. Next up, we have the 6-women tag match of Damage Control of Dakota Kai, Kairi Sane, and Asuka versus Jade Cargill, Naomi, and Bianca Belair. Who thought Damage Control was going to win this one, guys? Damage Control sweep. Oh, no. Of course, the debuting Jade Cargill will win. But I loved Damage Control's entrance. I thought it was really well done. I thought their outfits were very fun. And then, of course, I loved the other women's entrance. I just call it the Jade Squad. I loved the Jade Squad's entrance. It was so cool of them coming down. Yeah. I liked Naomi's Kung Lao cosplay. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah. And Jade Cargill, she's here. Like, I think they were waiting for Mania, but she is here. She had a match on Raw.
Yeah, that quick squash was fun on Raw. Her tag team stuff, I don't really, even in AEW, she didn't really do a lot of tagging. She felt a little off, but
yeah. So I really liked this match. I'll be honest, I really liked this match. This is one of my favorites of night 1. And I literally wrote WWE needs women's trios titles. They don't need men's trios titles, but look at these 2 trios. They can just fight over it and I'd be okay with it. Kairi had a pretty good insane elbow to the outside. Naomi kicked Asuka so hard it killed her, which I always love those sells. So thanks, Asuka. And then I was kind of getting a little vibe because Bianca Belair was beating up both the Kabuki Warriors. And it reminded me of when Swerve beat the UK in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Which I was like, this one hurt more because the UK just suck. But the Kabuki Warriors are awesome. So I was like, they're like great, but well. But it was fine. And then Jade just looked amazing in this. Every move she did looked so crisp. So whatever training they had her do, I think it paid off. She looked fantastic.
Yeah, and her whole presentation, she looked like $1 million. That was amazing.
I love how in the final, because this match wasn't very long, it was mostly just the hot tag to Cargill. I loved how Bianca Belair specifically got to take out Asuka because Asuka's the one who got to take the title off of her. So I thought that was a really nice story beat. And then I like how Asuka missed Kairi. I felt so bad for her, but it was pretty fun. And then that hair whip from Bianca. That hair whip. I didn't even say more. That hair whip.
Yeah.
Gunshot.
Yeah. No, I don't know which one was worse. That one or the one she hit Sasha Banks with that left that welts.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know. 1A and 1B. Those are man, that sucks.
They need to put metal detectors on the way to the ring. She's putting lead in that thing. I swear to God. You need to check that. And then finally, of course, Cargill, what's her move? Is it like the Storm Zero?
No, what was it Jaded before? I don't know
what
they
call it. Jaded in AEW. I do remember that. We'll just say that. She hit Jaded, and I liked her cover of Kai. I thought it was pretty good, and if she does that more, I think it'll make Jade Cargill look really good. And at least after Raw, she's 2-0, so they're setting up another streak. Okay, I'm fine with that. How'd you feel about the match? Did Jade Cargill deliver?
Yeah, I think I would have liked to see just a little more from her. She, like I said, it felt, I wouldn't say botchy, but it still felt a little like maybe a little more practice needed. But then again, Monday night, she looked amazing, even though it was a quick squash. So, like I said, I feel like maybe just her being in front of like 1 billion people in a stadium and in a tag, three-person tag, like, a lot of weird stuff to probably contend with that she might not have been ready for. But I mean, she looks like a star. It's amazing.
I love her entrance. It's so well done. Because just back to Jade and AEW, she was signed, but she missed All In, didn't she?
Yep.
So that's unfortunate. That would have been a good time to see a crowd that big, but she was not there. But she made it for WrestleMania. And like, there's only so much training you can do behind doors or in the performance center. But getting out on TV, getting those reps, I think that's where we'll see Jade Cargill shine. Obviously, we'll see her shine because we'll see her. But you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All right. This was a lot of people's match of the weekend, or at least match of night one. It wasn't mine because it was good, but it was a lot of people's favorite. Sami Zayn versus Gunther for the Intercontinental title. Now, the opening for this one, fabulous.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, during that opening shot, I was just like, oh, Sammy's going to win. There goes my points.
Yeah, I was like, no, they're doing it. I thought they were going to do the Rocky story for Cody, but it's also Sami.
Yeah.
And so him meeting with his family, that was really nice. And then him meeting with Gable and Gable being like, you owe me a favor. I was like, well, that was nice. And then we'll see him come out. And then there was Owens, and I was like, all right,
that
like whatever.
Slap and then the hug. And that was just all one shot, like one tracking shot. It was, like I said, and then sorry, I got so excited there all of a sudden. Weird. For WWE.
Is wrestling
between
cool
like
again?
That, then what I really noticed, like that opening on Monday, like with like when Hunter came out, their stuff looks so good now. It looks like cinema. It's amazing.
I forgot to mention it with the Rhea Ripley Becky Lynch match, but when it was like a top 4 like men and women's titles match, the AK camera shots they got literally make it look fake. It looked fake. It was so good. I could not, like, especially for that main event of night 2. Amazing.
Yeah, it looked like a computer render. It was just, it was unreal.
So that was pretty good. And that's how I wrote, this is how you do a big entrance for Sami Zayn. You don't give him like 1 million people walking out with him. You don't give him a live rock concert. You just give him a cold open because that's who Sami Zayn is, and that's the magic of Sami Zayn. So I liked the beginning of this match. I like this whole match. But, of course, the beginning of this match, Zayn tried to out-chop Gunther, which, you know, his fiery babyface let him hang in there for just a little bit, but he couldn't do it enough, right? But he was still good. And then Gunther counters Haluva kick, so Zayn gets hit by a powerbomb, but he kicks out. Lots of powerbombs in this match. Gunther looked so amazing. But, like, Gunther ran over to a corner, and Zayn was right behind him with a Haluva kick. That was amazing. And then I loved the lariat and 2 power bombs, which has ended so many people on this reign, but Zayn could kick out. That was pretty good. And then I like how Gunther was like, all right, I'm going to just start going for splashes. So he hit the 1, he hit the 2, and he's laughing at Sammy's wife.
Rule of threes.
Wah, wah, wah. And then Sami Zayn starts flopping like a fish because he's getting back up. God damn it. And then I wrote, after the 2 power bombs, I forgot. I wrote Eddie Kingston is shitting himself because whenever he hit a power bomb, that always ends a match in AEW.
Yeah.
But here's Gunther hitting like 5, and Sami Zayn won't die. I just thought that was really funny. And then I felt this. I don't know if I've ever said this, but my favorite wrestler in AEW is a guy named Konosuke Takeshita. And I feel like Sami Zayn and Konosuke Takeshita have the same moveset, proven by me in this. And I'm not saying one copied the other. I just think it's funny that they use a lot of the same moves.
Yeah.
That's it. But Sami Zayn hit a top rope brainbuster onto the ring ropes, onto Gunther at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it was amazing. He hasn't used that in WWE that I remember, but that was an old El Generico move. Like, that's what he would fuck people up with on the independents.
El Generico used it, and he taught Sami Zayn how to do it, right?
Yeah,
right?
That's it.
Yeah, okay. I thought that, which is really cool that Sami Zayn had that knowledge for so long and kept it. But, yeah, and I loved Michael. I think it was Michael Cole's, or maybe it was Pat McAfee's, where they just went, Brainbuster! Like, that was such a forbidden move in WWE's past, but, it's like the blood. When they can use it, it's amazing. So I just really made this match cool. And of course, I thought of Takeshita doing it to Ospreay. And so that's what got me to write. They just have the same moveset. because they both hit
Yeah.
Blue
No,
Thunder
I
bombs.
was actually pulling, like, I was screaming, "Oh God, he's gonna do an avalanche Blue Thunder bomb!" Like Takeshi did that
Yeah,
once too, and I
yeah.
was like, I was almost let down when he just hit him with the brain buster.
And I like how idiots are like, "Oh, he botched it," and I'm like, "What? What do you mean he hit it perfectly?"
Yeah, you dropped a dude on the head in the turnbuckle. It was awesome.
Matt, like, I hate to say it, that's the point of the move. That's why he doesn't do it.
Yeah.
And then finally, Sami Zayn, how many hula kicks did he hit? 1 or 2? But he won. He genuinely won. I was not expecting that. So Sami Zayn is your new Intercontinental title winner, or he's your new Intercontinental champion, ending Gunther's reign at 666 days. How'd you feel about the match, Chad?
Loved it. Loved it. Some minor tweaks, but like just minor. It's almost fucked up to say, but I kind of almost wish Sammy came back from an even more horrific beating. He is such a good sympathetic baby face that like I wanted to see him just broken and then pull off the win. Like he was pretty broken, but I think Gunther could have broken more.
Yeah, I think you shouldn't compare matches to matches because they're completely different people. But I have to compare this to the tag team match last year for the championships in the main event, where Zayn got hit with the 1D, which no one had kicked out of, and he kicked out of, that's the insane part in all of that, which was no one's kicked out of that, and Zayn kicked out of it. That's how good he is.
Yeah.
So I thought this was a very, very good match. I think I just had too high expectations for a match that would end Gunther's streak. That's mostly my point. Like, it was a great match.
Yeah.
But I expected the match to end Gunther's title reign to be amazing. And it was great. Not amazing.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see how Sami Zayn does as Intercontinental Champion. Finally, main event of night 1. A tag team match of Seth Flippin' Rollins and Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns and The Rock. That video package was so long. It was pretty dang good. I liked how it went through every single character in this. It was like, here's why Seth is doing this. Here's why Roman's doing this. Here's why Cody's doing this. And right as they got to the Cody's bit, you're like, oh, it's over. Tee-hee. And then they were menacing. And it was like, here's the Rock's bit, where he's the final boss and all the horrible things he's been doing to Cody and how he's been mistreating him, how he's terrible. This is who The Rock is now. I thought it was amazing. Great for casual fans who probably are like, oh, it's The Rock. I'm so happy to. Why is he beating that man with a belt? Why is he talking about giving a bloody belt to that guy's mom? Like, it just makes sense. So, really well done. This match was crazy long. It was like 45 minutes, which I think is the second longest match in WrestleMania history now, second only to the Iron Man match that went longer than 60 minutes.
61:25. I was just doing research for another video.
Nice. So, if you watch the AEW reviews, one of my favorite bits that has happened recently is the Young Bucks gimmick change, because they're amazing now. I used to hate them. Now they're great because they basically changed their whole gimmick and they're awesome. And they use the Cody Vader because it originated from AEW. So I had to write down, they use the EVP Vader. Shout out to the Bucks, baby. But yeah, Cody gets to use the Cody Vader because it's WrestleMania. It's pretty good. I wrote, no Brandy or -1. What the hell? Just you wait. Just you wait. So this match started out with some crowd brawling. So the Cody Vader isn't the only thing they're stealing from AEW. They looked at Sting retirement match and they went, oh, yeah, we got to get that crowd brawling, brother. But it was pretty fun. It was just mostly slow, unfortunately. But it was, you kind of need slow bits like this for when the chaos really kicks up. It makes the match even better. So you can kind of like, don't skip through the first 20 minutes of this match, but nothing really happens.
To your point, some of the best matches in New Japan, like, build to a crescendo. Like you said, you don't want to, but you could almost skip the first 20 minutes most of those matches.
Yeah. If you look on the hard cam side while you're watching this match, there's a really funny sign that says never forget January 25th, 2015, and it's The Rock holding up Roman Reigns' hand at the Royal Rumble as they're getting booed. Nice sign. I had a fun time with that. And then I loved Rock taunting Cody. I thought it was funny. And my favorite part was right as soon as they were leaving, Rock looked at the ref and he's like, no fucking countouts, okay? I'll fire your ass. And so that kind of set up the match where it was like, well, Rock and Roman can kind of just do what they want. And this referee, like, he can't do anything about it. And the referee sold it so well because there was a bit where they blatantly low blowed Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
And the ref went over to Cody and went, I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing I can do.
I loved it.
How are they turning refs babyface? Only AEW makes you care about the ref. And then I loved the bit. This is like the best sharpshooter Rock has ever had. My God. And then how Cody Rhodes got him out of it was he just slapped him. Like, typically when you're in a tag team match and you do something like that, you'd beat him up. But Cody's so noble. He's just going to give him one slap and be like, come on, be better than that. So Cody was fantastic in this. I loved it when Roman had Cody in the guillotine, which is like WrestleMania 39 last year, but Cody's powering up. He's getting back up. He's fighting it. And then all The Rock had to do was hold his legs and drag him under the rope. So, like, that's it. It was really simple how the Rock is just holding Cody's legs as Roman has the guillotine, but there's nothing Cody could do. And the ref was like genuinely like, I think I have to stop this. Like, there's nothing he can do. But then Seth saved it. He hit a backwards curb stomp onto Roman, which looked excellent. And then I loved the bit where Dwayne was going for a people's elbow, but Cody jumped up in the Cody cutter. Fantastic. I loved it when Roman speared Rock. Holy crap. That, like, I was like, there's your video package from when you do Rock and Roman. You sprinkle it in. And then, of course, The Rock's best selling. He was great in this match. I'll just be honest. It was a tag team match, but The Rock looked really good and he sold well. Like, best he's looked in years. Rock sold that the best, which is, of course, yeah, it's your cousin. Of course, you're going to sell that the best. I just thought that was funny. Cody hit rock bottom through the table. He finally got to do that after the Raw before Mania, and he couldn't do it. And then right after that, Roman Reigns speared Rollins right through the barricade, which is always a fun spot. And then Cody was trying to get back in the ring with Rock. And Roman hit a drive-by, which I haven't seen in so long by him, but that was always one of my favorite moves by him. And then finally, the ending sequence of this match, Cody Rhodes is about to hit the third crossroads on Roman Reigns. But there's that nasty weight belt of Rock smacks it on Cody's poor back. Roman Reigns spears. Dwayne demands a tag in. So Roman tags him in. People's elbow. 1, 2, 3. And I loved Michael Cole's call where he just went, Cody is 3 count. Screwed. That was it.
Yeah.
So what do you think of that match? It was long-winded, but I loved it.
It's good. I was impressed. Everybody played their part to perfection. The Rock, he did it. He got into ring shape. It was amazing. Like, he hung for 45 minutes.
I don't know. I don't know how. And it's one of those things where thank God we got this. This is the good timeline. I don't know what would have happened if they just trudged on with Rock and Roman. Yeah. Would that have been a good match? And more importantly, would Rock have won?
Huh.
Do you think would The Rock have won?
I mean, he's too darn busy, though. He can't. Well, I mean, he could probably appear about as much as Roman has over the last year.
Yeah. So I just want to put that little nugget of doubt where they
otherwise we probably have another year of Roman.
Could you thank goodness they pivoted. Yeah. Spoilers for night 2, but let's get into it. I really like how it started where it was like you get a close up on Cody's truck and Michael Cole just goes, no one's seen Cody since last night. That was brilliant. I loved it. And then who comes out to start the show but Stephanie McMahon? I popped big. Like, I popped way bigger than I should have, which is kind of embarrassing. But it's a really good sign. Because, we all hated Stephanie McMahon when she was on camera. But it was like, as soon as she was off camera, all you ever heard about was, oh, Stephanie McMahon's great. Oh, Stephanie McMahon's trying to do so much. Oh, Stephanie McMahon this. So it's like, holy shit. I didn't know Stephanie McMahon was so good for this business. So bringing her back was awesome. And she just kind of said, welcome to WrestleMania. Let's get it going. So that's all she needed to do. And good sign of things to come, I hope. And finally.
Man, so before we get into this, the difference between night 1 and night 2. Holy crap.
Oh, yeah. So this is like WrestleMania 38 and WrestleMania 39 had amazing night 1s and okay night 2s. This had in my opinion, okay night 1 all-timer night 2.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, but like, and if you look at the show as a whole, though, it's like kind of like it was like night 1 was a good intro to night 2. Like I felt like it just ramped into it. Like if I was watching a marathoning and or doing if it was a super long one, I think I would have been pleasantly surprised because almost like those New Japan matches where it ramps up into that crazy climax. I thought it was like as a whole, it was a great show.
Yeah. So especially this match, starting off for the World Heavyweight Championship, Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins facing each other. I liked Drew's entrance where he had all the people in kilts and the little swords and they dropped them after. I liked it. And then I liked Seth's entrance where he had the people behind him. It was a Philadelphia marching band. They were all quirky, but it fit Seth. So I thought that was pretty good. And this is mostly just finishers, which I think is fine to have like one title match be just finishers. And it makes sense for Rollins because A, he's injured. B, he worked the night before. C, he's been getting beaten up by the Bloodline a lot and Drew McIntyre. So it makes sense that like it's all just desperate power moves here. And Drew McIntyre is a little cocky. He's like, I'll just beat you with my overpowered moves. And Seth is like, I just have to hit you with what I can. So I really liked that story. Immediately starts off with a Claymore. Loved that. And then every single stomp Seth hit looks like it was desperate but powerful.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So it was fantastic. I loved CM Punk on commentary. Like he was keeping it cut and dry, but he was still snarky like he always is. And we'll get back to him. Don't you worry. And like everything in my notes is, wow, that was a good Claymore. That was a good stomp. That was a good Claymore. Because every Claymore and stomp in this was amazing. I loved how Seth stomped him on the announce table. How much abuse did that poor announce table get all night? Both announce tables. They got abused. Finally, I loved the end because this match wasn't very long to begin with and it wasn't very many moves. I love it when a wrestler knows they're down and they're taunting the other guy to finish it.
Yeah.
See Jericho and Ospreay at All In where Jericho does a little right here and then Ospreay kills him. Same with Ospreay Fletcher on Dynamite where Fletcher was just like, you can see what you got. Man, that Ospreay guy likes that spot. But Seth Rollins, right before he gets kicked, is, you have to kill me. And Drew did. And he beat him. And I've been very honest. I have not cared about this belt since they made it. I've not cared about Seth Rollins' reign. But as soon as he lost it and he looked like genuinely gutted, I was like, oh, this belt matters.
Yeah,
like,
way to elevate it. Like, to the next guy. Holy crap.
It's one of those things where how could you not, and this isn't like against Seth, this is just me genuinely asking, how did you not elevate it with the almost year-long reign, but you losing it was like, oh, this belt's legit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like he was the first champion, so there's no basis for comparison, right? Now, and like he clearly cherished it, but it just kind of felt like business as usual. And I think maybe his stuff kind of got overshadowed a lot by Cody and the Bloodline. But that sell, like him crying and mouthing "you deserve it" to him at the end, it was like, oh, my heart.
Yeah. I'll talk about it later, but I'm not the biggest fan of Seth Rollins. He can be excellent, but a lot of times he just isn't. And I don't think that's him. I just don't think he really clicks with me.
Sorry to interrupt. My favorite iteration of him is chicken shit heel.
Yes. When he first had that WWE Championship run, I loved him then. He'll never go back to it, but I loved him then. Anyways, Seth Rollins this weekend might have been the MVP.
Goat.
He might have been the MVP. Yeah. He was him and Samantha Irvin. Those are the two. But Seth Rollins selling and wrestling and character work and everything
that made bit at the end. Oof.
We'll get to that. It made this Mania, especially night 2, feel so impactful. But we're not even talking about the guy who won it, for Christ's sake. Drew McIntyre finally gets his big world championship win in front of fans, and they're buzzing to see him. He's so excited. But of course, because he's a hypocrite, and he can't focus on anything but what's in front of him, he goes over to CM Punk. He's bringing the belt in front of him, telling him, this is all you. This is all because of you, CM Punk. And I love how CM Punk is like, I can't hear you. I got these tin cans on. I thought that was so funny. And then McIntyre told him to suck it. And that's when Punk gets involved. He throws him off the announce table. He takes off his little triceps holder and he gives him a big old clothesline. And like I like how CM Punk does his little kiss at him.
Yeah.
And then you hear the Judgment Day theme. And so CM Punk gets to do the Judgment Day meme. And it's happening at Wrestle. Like I was laughing at that so much. I was like, they did the Judgment Day meme with CM Punk at Mania. Because he was like looking one way. Flipped the 270 to go back and have the dramatic reveal. And they panned on him. I'm so glad they got CM Punk.
They nailed that. It was amazing.
Talk about excellent like framing. And then to continue on, Damian Priest cashes in, slinks in, it's an excellent, what is it, South of Heaven?
South of Heaven. He
South
got
of Heaven
hang
tombstone.
time.
And pinned Drew McIntyre. And you know what? I was kind of pissy about it when it happened, but especially seeing the Judgment Day celebrate with Priest afterwards, I thought it was like, yeah, that's the right call. That's the right call.
Oh, it was. They gave Drew plenty of time to celebrate. He
5
got
whole
his
minutes and
moment.
46 seconds.
Yeah, he got his moment. And then he's gonna get to do it again in Glasgow in 2 months.
I hope. I really do.
Me too, because and then hopefully by then CM Punk's a little more healed up, and that feud for that title, that's a license to print money. Holy crap. I am looking forward to that.
Especially for Raw, they were determining a number one contender to challenge Damian Priest next, and it looked like Drew McIntyre was going to beat poor Jey Uso. But then there's someone holding Drew's foot, and it's CM Punk, and his face is so funny because he's like, and then he gets away, and Jey Uso wins. So this CM Punk Drew feud is continuing, and I can't wait for it.
Yeah.
Moving on, we got the Philadelphia Street Fight between Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus the Final Testament, which is Authors of Pain and Karrion Kross with Paul Ellering and Scarlett and a Partridge in a Pear Tree, and I'm pretty sure Michael Cole's involved. Everyone's in this faction. I was not looking forward to this match, but it was kind of the plunder match of night 2, and it was really fun. But I think what saved it, which is the two things they didn't announce, Snoop Dogg was on commentary, which do that every WrestleMania. Just have Snoop Dogg on like commentary for the tag team match. Have him just like lose his mind and be like, I don't know what's happening, man. Yeah. And then Bubba Ray Dudley as special guest referee. I popped. I was
EC dub.
You got to get a little EC dub. There wasn't that much that happened in this match. It was kind of just, kendo sticks. Table spots. We're going to beat you up. The biggest part of this match was probably Karrion Kross getting in Bubba's face, and then he just put on the silly little glasses, and that charged him up.
Get the table.
They hit the Waz up on Karrion, I believe, and then they all did the get the tables to each other. And then when they had Karrion Kross in the first one, it buckled under him. So people were like, you fucked up. And then they got another one. Montez Ford hit a beautiful frog splash and ended the match. How'd you feel about it?
It was what it needed to be. They whacked each other with some plunder. It was funny. It was goofy. I laughed. I probably ate some popcorn and some other snacks and had fun. That's all it needed to be.
Yeah, this was a silly plunder match. And again, you kind of did like it wasn't a piss break match, but it kind of was still, especially compared to what came next. So you needed a little buffer. It's not like the next match was like excellent, but I think a lot more people were excited for it because we had LA Knight's WrestleMania debut against AJ Styles. I was not hyped for this match. I was hyped for it because it's like, I like AJ Styles and I like LA Knight, but I don't think this will be a good match. This match was great. One of AJ's best Mania matches, which unfortunately isn't a high bar, but it was still really good.
No, I feel like those two had a great angle, which was there is a lot of overbook craziness tonight. Let's just have a really good straight up wrestling match. And that's what they did. It was almost a breath of fresh air because like we kind of got, both sides of the buffet. I love my goofy ass overbooked messes. But this was just fun. Like it was a really good match. That finish was like how he got into the his finisher. I was like, whoa, that was cool.
Yeah. So this is a fun match. I liked AJ Styles' new song, even though we didn't get to hear it that much. I don't like that they changed it, but it makes sense that they changed it because this is the first time that AJ Styles is like bad guy heel. Like he was always like Weasley heel, but he was still a good wrestler. Now he's like bad guy heel. So I'm fine with that. But I like how he just kind of skipped his song and ran out to go beat up LA Knight. I really liked that. There's a nice avalanche German suplex that I thought was really good. Most of the match, AJ Styles was working over LA Knight's leg. So when he finally got the calf crusher in, it looked really good. One of the best calf crushers I've seen of AJ. Like I was like, oh, LA Knight's done. I know he's gonna win.
I love how he gets into that. Just it's so smooth. Oh my god.
Yeah. I still think about a lot of people remember the Daniel Bryan Brock Lesnar match at Survivor Series. But I loved the AJ Styles Brock Lesnar match at the Survivor Series before, because especially that calf crusher spot where he's got Lesnar in it and Lesnar's selling so well. And Lesnar's like, wait, I can just bash your head into the ring. And that's how he gets out of it. That's so genius. That's so genius. But we're not
Brock Lesnar.
We're not talking about that. So Styles hit a back body drop to LA Knight on the exposed floor, which again, you're saying this is a standard wrestling match, which it was, but then they sort of like, whatever, we gotta do something silly. So they tear up the map, throw them on him, which I feel like they just don't do that anymore. Like
not often.
They used to do that like maybe once a month, maybe once or twice a month, but they haven't done it in so long. So I really enjoyed it. It was like seeing the Spanish announcement table again. They never do that. So I was like, hell yeah, bring it back. And then, the fun ending sequence of LA Knight snagging that BFT out of nowhere. I was surprised it only took one, but they're really pushing LA Knight, which I'm fine with. This was kind of like the Jey Uso match, but better, where it was the guy I like who needs a big win at Mania, got a big win at Mania. So, I'm fine with it.
So what do you think? Is maybe Logan Paul going to be a good next stop for LA Knight?
Maybe not next. Maybe do like one or two more big feuds. Like he should beat someone else that's big. I want Logan Paul to carry that belt to SummerSlam, and Knight beats him at SummerSlam.
Oh,
cool.
If
I would have had Knight beat him at Mania, but when we get to the next match, I'm very, very, very fine with what we got.
Yeah.
But I still want LA Knight to be the one to beat Logan Paul, because I don't think he's necessarily world championship level yet, or he could be. He could turn it on and be, but at least now.
Not in this climate. Like, stay away from that. It's taken up by way too many A-listers.
I don't think he should beat Cody Rhodes or anyone that does beat Cody Rhodes, but I don't want him to go for the Damian Priest title, which I like him. I like Damian Priest with that title more than I thought. I think LA Knight's above that, but below Cody. Yeah. So it's like kind of awkward for him right now.
Plus, LA Knight, Logan Paul, that's kind of a dope feud. Like, there'd be some great promos and shenanigans. I think that, like I said earlier, it'd be a license to print money. It'd be a good feud.
Well, I think Logan Paul has brought prestige to the U.S. title.
Yes.
Like, I can't believe it, but you had Austin Theory hold it for so long. It was awful. And then Rey Mysterio beat him, which, like, just on the basis that it's not Austin Theory holding that title, helps it, right?
Yeah.
So Rey Mysterio had a nothing run, but it was like, well, it's better than what Austin Theory was doing. And then Paul beat him. He's had a pretty good run, and I just want to know what they're going to do next with him. Like, what's Logan Paul's next match?
Yeah.
Speaking of Logan Paul in the next match, this match, I'm not kidding, including the Io Bailey match, favorite match that wasn't the main event of night 2. This was my favorite match on the weekend. It's the only match I've rewatched. I've rewatched like a bunch of bits from the main event. Don't get me wrong. But the only match that I've sat through a second time was this match. I loved it so much. And I was watching the show with my friends. We were dying. And it's mostly because my friend who's getting into WWE, Logan Paul is one of his, he loves Cody. He loves Logan Paul. He loves Randy Orton, right? And so seeing Logan Paul and Randy Orton in this match and them just being on fire, and Kevin Owens was on fire. This is a great
character
match.
Work. That cheeky look that Randy gave him after that attempted RKO. And I was just like, oh, it's on. I love it.
He's like, my bad. So if we start off with Logan Paul's entrance in that ugly truck. Ugh, gross. And then you got Kevin Owens, which I loved Kevin Owens and Randy Orton's entrance. Where Kevin Owens got the Sami Zayn treatment, where Sami Zayn was like, it's your turn. And I went, no, he's going to win. Because I wanted Logan Paul to retain really badly. And then Kevin Owens got on a golf cart. drove like halfway to the ring, and then Orton started coming out. So he just backed up and started picking up Orton. And you can see Orton, as soon as he takes off, he's like, slow down. And like he tells Kevin Owens to slow down like 3 times. It's really funny. So I really liked it. I thought it was a genuine entrance. And you never see like Orton be genuine, except for his like current run. You never see him as this genuine.
I remember there's like brief moments like where you'd see him like when he put the Singh brothers through the table and he was like, oh, too much. Or I think there's one where they were like, he was standing up, I think, with like Baron Corbin, and they were just kind of fucking around. And I don't think they realized they were on camera, but you could see them being goofy as all hell. And they're like, oh, that's awesome. Like, he seems like the kind of dude where the more you find out what he's like not in character, you're kind of like, oh, I kind of really like him.
Yeah. I have loved Randy Orton's return run. It's so great to have him back, and he's hit that like legend run where like he can't really do anything wrong right now unless he starts beating unless he beats Cody Rhodes for the title, he can't really do anything wrong right now.
Yeah.
So this match was a lot of fun. Of course, it starts off with Randy Orton and Kevin Owens bullying poor Logan Paul. They gave him so many back body drops to the announcement table, and I liked it how like Orton was kind of like teaching Owens how to do it. He's like, nah, you gotta hit him like this. And poor Logan Paul. And then Logan Paul hit a double buckshot lariat. Bye, Adam Page. When have you done that, bozo? Where are you at? I know you're suspended from the Elite. No one cares. But I thought that was a really good match. And Logan Paul, of course, like everyone else, he gets to swear. He said the mother effer words. So they let a lot slide. I know they tried to bleep a lot, but they let a lot slide still. I loved Logan Paul's swanton to the splash. Like he hit a swanton on Owens and then splashed Orton. And then he did like one of my favorite things in triple threats where you hit 2 okay moves on guys because it's a big match and you're kind of tired. And so he goes for the pin on Orton, can't do it. Goes for the pin on Owen, can't do it. That's always just a match spot I enjoy. And then Orton hit a great power slam. And I kind of realized, you know how John Cena has his 5 moves of doom?
Yeah.
Orton has 5 moves of doom. Do you know that?
Let's see. He's got the power slam.
It's no. He goes lariat, power slam, draping DDT, RKO.
Yeah. Okay.
He's got the same thing where John Cena has shoulder block. I don't know what you call it, but like where he spins around and does the slam.
Yeah.
5 knuckle shuffle. AA. These idiots have the same thing, but only John Cena gets called out for it. I just thought that was funny. But I loved how, like, just when Logan Paul was going in to do another buckshot lariat, and Orton did, like, a really slow power slam, and as soon as Logan Paul got there, he went for it. Like, I thought that was really excellent. And then Owens had a top rope power slam movesault. I thought that was excellent. And then I loved they were calling out like a bunch of places, and they went, you could feel it in Oregon. And I was like, that's us. We said it. We made it. And then I loved, and I was talking this to my friend because he was like, oh, why was that spot so good? I loved it when Logan Paul hit Orton with the knuckles and Orton kicked out, and Logan was so like buzzed. He was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And I was like, there's a reason for that, right? Logan Paul has won that with so much, but it makes sense why Orton would kick out because he's a main event guy, top level player. Like it makes sense that someone like Orton can kick out.
Yeah, he wasn't even conscious. He just felt that second slap and he just kicks.
Yeah. So it's like Logan Paul's entering another level, like not him, but he's fighting higher level guys where he's like, oh, this isn't going to work. I need more to beat these guys. Like these guys are different.
Yeah.
They're like Orton's more than I thought. And Paul sold it so well. He's so good. It's annoying. But finally, Randy Orton goes a little crazy with the RKOs, but of course it's okay. And then Orton gets the knuckles. And I was like, oh, is he going to use them? And he hands them to the ref. And I was like, well, that's dumb. And then it was like the coolest spot of the match because Orton's like, I got something better. And he just goes back for the pun. I was like, that makes Orton so fucking cool that he's like, I got something better than brass knuckles. And you're like, I believe you.
Yeah.
I believe you.
Yeah. The legend killer, man. Like, I love how he just played with his own history. It was awesome.
Yeah.
A+ storytelling the whole WrestleMania.
Yeah. Did you know who was in the Prime bottle? Like, did you recognize them?
I did not. I am not
So
cool.
I do, but I'm a hip with the kids, right? He's an idiot. He goes on live stream and he's an idiot. So the two things I know him for most is he lit off a firework in his room and was surprised that it almost caught his room on fire. So that's the thing I remember for him most. And then there's another time where he was playing a horror game and he was surprised and he jumped backwards in his chair, but a certain body appendage came out while he jumped up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that was live on stream. So that's what I know this guy for. But it's still really weird to see him at WrestleMania because he's kind of just a meme. But I loved how he's barking at Orton and he pushes him, and Orton just kicks him once and he dies. And then Orton rips off the Prime bottle. Mind you, my friend and I are dying because we both know who this guy is. And we're like, what is Orton doing? He's going to kill this guy. And so he rips off the Prime suit. And he doesn't like pick him up by the scruff of his collar or anything. He grabs his leg and he's just like tearing him at his leg. He throws him on the announce table and he like looks right in his face and Orton barks at him. And I was dying. And then he hits him with an RKO. So like when that happened, I was like, that's a damn Mania moment. Like they always try to force Mania moments, but that's one of those where I'm going to remember that stupid moment for the rest of my life. That was fantastic. And finally, like, can you see why I loved this match so much? Like, there's so much stupid shit in it, but I'm like, oh, it was so good. It was so well done. And then as I was talking to my friend, I was like, since I've seen Kevin Owens start, I always wanted to see a pop-up powerbomb into an RKO. And I was like, I'm sure they've done it, but I always just want to see it. 30 seconds later, Owens and Orton did that. I lost my mind.
Yeah.
I lost my mind. And then Logan Paul, I love how Logan Paul won because it wasn't like decisive because he slipped back in. Orton still threw him out because he's still Orton. And then Paul baited him to run into the ring. And it's like as soon as Orton was out, Paul was on the top rope, hit a beautiful frog splash, beat Owens, and retained. One of two champions to retain at all on WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I loved this match. I thought it was the right winner, right call. Everyone looked great in it. Just fantastic all around.
Yeah, it was fun. I think I could say that for almost the entire WrestleMania. I had fun. Throughout all the name redacted stuff and all that, I just had a good time, the whole thing. But like this match specifically, like I think I said it the last time we talked about WWE. I kind of want Randy and Kevin to just go off and have their own show, like some sort of buddy.
Owens.
Yeah, it'd be amazing. I love these, like those three specifically. Like I don't know who in the back was like, let's put those three together. Like that was perfect. It was great. Me, I love my goofy wrestling stuff, and it was such a good mixture of like really good wrestling. Yet they, like you said, they worked all the goofy character stuff in seamlessly. It was so good.
Yeah. When they were like at Elimination Chamber, clearly setting up Paul and Orton, I was kind of disappointed. I was like, whatever. I don't really care about that. And then they announced it was Orton, Owens, and Paul. And I was like, whatever. I don't really care about that. And then the match happened, and I was like, well, I let them down. That was such a good match.
Yeah.
I loved every single person in this match. They were perfect. But this was not my favorite match of the weekend. Spoilers, but I think that's pretty obvious. But before that, the penultimate match for the WWE Women's Championship, we have champion Io Sky defending against Bayley. Damage Control, Civil War. A lot of people, including me, were expecting Bayley to come out with the Hugger theme. So color me surprised when she came out with Ancient Egypt. Do you know why? You were more of a fan.
Not.
She never mentioned like in Pyramids when she was the Hugger or anything like that.
If she did, I can't remember. I'm pretty old now. Spoilers. Today is my birthday. What?
Birthday celebration on
Yeah.
the podcast. You know what? Your birthday gift, you don't have to do the punishment for losing.
The memory ain't what it used to be. If she did, I can't remember.
Okay. I don't think anyone else really knew it. It still looked good. It was just like, oh, I was expecting wacky wavy inflatable arm flailing two men, and that didn't happen, which was fine. It was still a good entrance, but I was just surprised. I also saw, I did not come up with this, so I don't claim it, but at least WWE was able to hire the boys.
Oh,
They were
cool.
there.
Aw.
It wasn't actually them, but like shirtless guys with masks.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah,
boys.
yeah.
Anyway, so this match was pretty dang good. Started off pretty hot. Bailey tried to go for a semi Bailey to belly on the outside. So anytime they do stuff like that on the outside, I like it. Bailey caught Io Sky with a pretty dang good knee in the ring. And then Bailey, it looks like she hyperextended her knee at some point because Sky went for a moonsault and Bailey got her knee up. But the way Bailey sold it, I was like, how could she finish this match? Her leg is out. Her leg is out. I loved it. And then Bailey hit an elbow, and Io immediately countered with a crossface. And then, like, right after that, it wasn't, but it looks like a running Judas effect that Bailey hit on the back of Io Sky. And then Io also countered that into a second crossface. Like, Io was so good in this match. Why isn't
Yeah.
she on these pay-per-views more?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I hadn't been watching too much as Damage Control has, kind of really hit their stride. So yeah, color me shocked. You haven't got to the spot yet, but I have to pop the how she got out of that rose pedal. The what?
That's like
That?
that's
What
like
was that?
that's like how Io just like no sold the rose plant, right?
Yeah.
That's like an AEW all out like no sell. I
Yeah.
was not expecting a no sell like that in a WWE match, and that literally raised that. We don't do stars. That raised it a star rating.
Yeah.
That was such a good, like, not even kick out. Just I'm better than you. I can't be beat. So Io's so great. I really hope they have a good follow up for her. I hope they have a good follow up for Damage Control. We're in this new era, so we'll see what that means.
Yeah.
But it was very good. And then Bailey wins. She ends it with a Bailey to belly and a big elbow. So how do you feel about this match, and how do you feel about the winner?
Who, you know me, I'm always putting over women's wrestling, and I think for the women, definitely the match of the Mania, hands down, and probably one of the matches of the entire Mania. Like everybody,
Yeah,
she even liked it.
that's good. The women put on a clinic. It was great to see. Glad that Bailey got a big moment at Mania. She deserves it.
Yeah,
And only thing I would have to say is I hope they have something for Io Sky at the end of this or next. Like, I hope they have a good feud or good title or good something, anything, Finally, not our main event, but Snoop Dogg is back. He comes out with the Philadelphia cheerleaders and a silly little eagle mascot, and they announce like the combined number. I think I wrote it down. It was 145,298 combined on both days of WrestleMania. So that's like about 70,000 and some chain on each day, which is pretty damn impressive. Still not like, I don't think I really count that as a record because you still have at least All In. That was either at like 80,000 or 70,000. Like, it's debated, but they had a big ass gate. Is what like that's the end of the day. Is they had a big ass gate. I don't think either night of Mania beat whatever number they had, but they got pretty damn close, and it doesn't matter. They had a pretty damn big show.
Yeah, and the Raw after, they had to take the Tron down to fit all the people in there.
I think that set looks better, and they should do it every time.
It was amazing. The jib shot where when Triple H came in and it started off as the wide shot, then it panned down and then followed him back, and I was like, oh my god, for some weird reason I'm like, it looks like a John Wick movie or something. This was incredible.
Well, that's where in the lead up to Mania, you got that excellent shot where Rock made the surprise appearance, and it's Cody in the ring, and he's blurred out, and you see the Rock silhouetted by the lightning all the way at the top. Like, they need to keep this stage. They said that it's going to be more common, but only when they sell out and they can't do the big Titantron. God, I hope they keep selling out. God, I hope they keep selling out. Finally, we get to this promo pack, or we get to this video package for Cody and Roman. What a package. Also, they put the Bucks, Kenny Omega, and Chris Jericho all in this video package. Wow. Forbidden Door is broken.
Yeah.
Shattered, if you will.
Yeah, it was incredible. Absolutely incredible. Like I said, if I can swap careers, I want to be the dude that's editing those packages. That looks like the funnest job ever.
Yeah, they can turn any story and make it look amazing.
Yeah.
And I like how they sold this of like, oh, Cody had to give it up to The Rock because The Rock bad. And then, Cody staked his claim, but The Rock and Roman beat him up all along the way. Oh, it was so good. And then I really liked, especially showing the Bucks and Kenny and his time outside. It's showing that like, hey, we didn't build him. Cody built Cody. Like I really liked that.
Yeah.
Finally, we get to the entrances. Not even on the match. I liked Cody's opening bit where it was like all the tattered flags and the dramatic music. And then he came up and he did have a kind of silly mask. I'll be honest.
Do you know who made that?
Who?
Same guy that made Bray's mask.
Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. It was a little weird, but I'm glad he didn't wear it all the way to the ring. He took it off pretty quickly. But who did he give it to? But Brandy Rhodes. She made it. It's her return.
Yay.
I can't believe people were excited to see her. Can you believe it? I wasn't watching AEW. You were. But you saw how people were reacting to her in AEW at the end. They hated her. Hated her.
Yeah.
So at least she can get a pop, right? And then Roman Reigns entrance. Wow. All-time Mania entrance? When have they ever had an orchestra perform someone to the ring?
Oh my God. I thought he was gonna win. I think I texted that to you, right? I was like,
yeah,
a full orchestra? Oh, he's going over. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Sounded fantastic too.
So they mentioned a lot of names that Roman Reigns has beaten on this run, which they did. Oh, they do that a lot, but I always like it when they do it. They mentioned Daniel Bryan, which again, I really like it when they do it. And they mentioned Brock Lesnar, which I said when we were talking about the predictions, like this is Brock Lesnar returning. They mentioned him on air. Like, I don't think he's coming back, but spoilers, they were talking with him to have him on Mania, and we did have some cameos. Brock would have made a lot of sense because he won Cody's respect, or Cody won his respect. Roman Reigns beat him a lot for the title, and they have their history. Brock has history with The Rock. Like, there's a lot they could have done, but I think it's better that they didn't have Brock. I think Brock may be done. Anyways, on to this silly match. Holy crap. So I like how Cody didn't just go, oh, I'll win this match by my pluck and spite. He's like, no, I'm going to get tables and shit. Like, he's going to fight smart. Because I like how Cody's handling this. He's going to fight smart. So as Cody's trying to get a table into the ring, Roman hits a great drive-by on him. Again, I'm like, where are all these drive-bys coming? Where have they been? I missed them. So that was a great start. And then Roman, like a heel, just throws it right back under the ring. He's like, no, we're not getting that. We're not getting that. And then I like how...
I don't want to really derail you, but have you seen the still pictures?
Of what?
When Roman was pushing it back in, somebody freeze framed it, and you could see who under the ring. Spoilers where it's about to come up.
I see someone's arm slink back under the ring. Is it Jimmy?
It might be somebody who's not quite alive.
Oh, I thought I saw Jimmy under the ring, but maybe there's a bunch of people under. Anyways, that's funny. That's funny that they had it. One reason that I realized this match was going to be an all-timer, Lil Nate was refereeing.
Yeah.
Can you believe it? And then what was funny was Cody hit a figure 4 in the middle of the ring, and I went, with Lil Nate, you can't do that. And then you heard Corey Graves go on commentary like, Little Nate just standing in the ring next to the figure 4. What is Cody thinking? I'm like, they know. They know.
They've become self-aware.
Yeah, and then I like how they did a little fan brawling again, and Roman just looked at a fan and just did his like that, and the fan was like, whoa! Like, the fan got legitimately scared. Like, this is a match. Like, of course, Cody was great in it, but Roman was so good in this. And I think, spoilers, with losing this, it really cemented Roman as an all-timer, and it cemented this title reign as like one of the best ones we'll see in a while. like at least within our lifetime. So, but we'll get to that. Cody went for his disaster kicks, which I love his disaster kicks. And of course, Roman Reigns countered it into an amazing power bomb. Right after he did that, he went, "This is my company, bitch." So Roman Reigns' smack talk is better than anyone else. And then they hit a double clothesline. And this is like, I kept writing jokes. I was like, they're copying AEW. They're copying All In.
Double Liz.
Yeah. And then Cody hit a beautiful disaster kick, which like he spinned when he hit it, which that looked great. And then Roman Reigns hit a crossroads, which was such good bait or such good banter. And then of course Cody kicks out. He's like, "Man, that move sucks." So Roman is just on point with this. And then I loved it when Cody speared Roman. Like that was such a great moment. I know that's a big deal. Like Jey Uso was doing that, Sami Zayn did it, but it was just funny as hell. And then you're like, oh, Cody's hitting his crossroads. He's about to win, and this is where the chicanery starts. This is where that Bloodline Rules comes in. Jimmy Uso from under the ring super kicks Cody, and he's about to beat him up. But then out comes main event Jey Uso. I'm so glad it was main event Jey Uso. It makes sense that it was Jey Uso. And then they have a better match than they did the night before.
Right.
Because it ends with Jay spearing Jimmy off the side. And everyone that I know was like, oh, he died. He died when he did that.
Yeah.
But of course, tables. So I loved, especially compared to the next two people that came out, it's like, yeah, Jey Uso's on the same level. He gets a big entrance with it too. So I liked that. And then, of course, Cody's starting to go for them crossroads again. And who sneaks in but Solo Sikoa, and he spikes poor old Cody. There's the slow cover from Roman on Cody, but of course Cody kicks out. Then they hit the spike and spear combo, which something very similar to that beat Cody. I kind of wish personally they literally redid the spot that pinned Cody last year, which Solo on the apron, thumb, Cody staggers, Roman does like a long spear. I wish that was what ended the match, but this was still a good spot where they did the spear spike combo and Cody got to kick out. So I really like it because it's like, okay, Cody's still like pretty damn good. This isn't just the cameos and who can help Cody. Cody's still baller. And then who comes out but the You Can't See Me man himself, John Cena. I popped so hard. Like everyone knew it was coming, but I got so excited just because I love John Cena so much. He goes in.
It makes sense. He finally got something back for getting wrecked.
Yeah, Solo killing him at Crown Jewel. But he goes in, throws Solo out the ring, hits Roman with an AA. So it's like, okay, Cody just took a big move. Roman just took an AA. They're both going to sleep for a minute because it's not about them right now. Cena AA Solo. And then like Cena's like kind of like, all right, that was cool. Immediately The Rock comes out.
Yeah.
And Cena's selling of that. He was like, oh shit, I'm not ready for this. And then The Rock he's slowly walking out the whole time, but he's just talking crap. They have to bleep him again, which is just, it's so funny when it's like this big entrance and he's like, you cocksucking motherfucker. Like he's just saying all sorts of shit. They're like, bleep, stop it, Rock, stop it. And so they have their little face off in the ring. And I'm looking too much into this. But if you remember how John Cena lost their match at WrestleMania 28, he went for the people's elbow, but The Rock countered for a rock bottom and beat him. And I liked how that was kind of echoed here because they did their WrestleMania 18 stare-off, and then Cena got cocky, did the You Can't See Me, and Rock just killed him with the rock bottom. I thought that was a great little spot. And then Rock's got the belt. He's about to beat up poor Cody Rhodes, but who do we hear? Not a little glass shatter like we all thought, but a bell. Because then out came The Undertaker, not in his wrestling attire, but we can't have everything. Hits Rock with a choke slam, which I love The Rock selling when he takes it because it looks like he's also going to die.
Yeah.
And then I thought I loved it when the lights went out again and came back and all you saw was the belt just perfectly laid out. Oh, it was so well done. And I was like, oh, Rock's dead. And then you saw him in the end, but I was like, oh, The Rock is so dead. And finally, oh, I forgot to mention in between, this is very important, in between Undertaker and Cena, or in between Undertaker and Rock, the Shields music hit.
Oh.
Yeah. And it took just long enough for anyone to see anyone. And every single person in the wrestling world all thought the same thing. Chad, what were we thinking?
John Moxley. Oh,
It actually sets up, it's way better that it wasn't Moxley because you needed whoever was in there, the cameo, to die,
yeah.
kind of. And you wouldn't do that to Moxley, right? You
No.
wouldn't bring him back for this big surprise moment and have him get punked out by The Rock. But Seth Rollins, who's broken and battered and wrestled the night before and lost a championship match 3 hours before, makes sense. So he came out in Shield guard and almost instantly got beat by Rock. And then The Rock and Undertaker bit. And then it's just Cody, Roman, and Seth in the ring. And Roman's got a chair. And he looks at Cody, and he can hit Cody, and he can win. But he sees Rollins in the exact position that Roman was.
Yeah.
Because he still can't get over the Shield. He chooses to hit
Shield's
Rollins.
gears. Man, 10 years. Like, I know it was probably never originally the plan, but come on, that's amazing long-term storytelling.
The fact that they were like, oh, this is how Roman should lose, is because he can't get over Rollins, is so perfect. And it was true. Rollins was Cody's Shield. It's a little corny, but he was. And it was so perfect. Rhodes hits the 3 crossroads, pins him. I didn't think that was going to happen. And I was watching it with my friends. I was like, oh, I'm going to cry when it happens. I didn't. I was just stunned.
Yeah.
I didn't talk for like 5 minutes. I was like,
couldn't believe it happened. Couldn't believe it.
And of course, they did the Bret Hart WrestleMania 10 where all the baby faces come out. So you got to have Randy Orton and LA Knight and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and Jey Uso and Seth Rollins and Cena. They all came out. They all were celebrating. He got to hand the belt to Mama Rhodes. -1 was there, which was very nice to see. Do you know what the other kids were? I didn't recognize them. Maybe just more of Dusty's kids. I
don't know. Make-A-Wish.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. It's just more like I wish I knew who they were just for curiosity's sake. And then, of course, Cody got on the mic, thanked everyone, demanded Bruce Pritchard, of all people, to come out, which I didn't think I'd ever hear his name on WWE programming, which if he wanted to do it, he wanted to do it. And then, of course, he welcomed out Triple H. By the way, we didn't mention it. Did you know we're in the Paul Levesque Triple H era?
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Only said it about a few hundred times throughout the weekend.
Yeah. I think the best part of that main event, not the best part, but one of the best parts is right after it ends, Michael Cole with the call, I love pro wrestling. Yeah. And then Corey Graves just goes, pro wrestling is back.
Yeah.
I can't believe the only people doing sports entertainment right now is AEW.
I know. I don't want to derail, but this coming Wednesday feels a little cringy.
So what do they got? It's the Punk video, right?
Yeah.
What? I was talking to Dave about it. I'm not really excited about it. And I think the only way I can see it being beneficial is if you have the Bucks narrate it and Bucks are playing the parts of CM Punk and Perry.
Yeah. And if it's part of Perry's coming back, like if they're using it as part of an angle, as a story, and they're not just doing it for cheap heat or to stick it to Punk or something.
Which I think they are.
Yeah.
I think it is just cheap heat. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. But that's enough anti-AEW talk. Back to WWE. I spoke a lot about this match. I spoke a lot about what I liked. How'd you feel about it?
Oh, God. It was kind of perfect. Probably one of the all-time main events to a Mania. Hard to say. Like, the recency bias, of course. Like, oh, yeah, it was greatest of all time. I really have to sit down and, like, look at other stuff and think about it. But amazing wrestling match. Great start. Great wrestling match. Then it was like, okay, here's all your fan service overbooked mess. And now here's the finish. Like, it was very well thought out, well done. I didn't feel like the overbooked mess part of it took over or took away from the match. It added to it. And like I said, you got a great wrestling match and then some shenanigans and then a great finish. Like, it was perfect.
I don't want to see a finish like that for the next 10 Manias.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't even want you to, like, next 20, next 30. Like, I don't want to see a finish like that. But this is such a once-in-a-lifetime story to tell and they're in such a perfect era where you do want to say goodbye and thank you to all the like John Cena and The Undertaker, right? And people are kind of going in like knots. And one thing, because people are like, why was Undertaker there and not Stone Cold? Stone Cold probably just didn't want to do it for whatever reason, which is fine. So they'll go, okay, like Undertaker, we'll do you. And I like this idea where Rock has been calling himself the final boss, but there's only one final boss at Mania. Doesn't matter that the streak's dead. Doesn't matter that he's retired. That final boss will come back from the dead and he'll strike you down. And that's such a cool moment.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, no. And he's got, man, the whole this is now your yard thing, like, Roman put him down too. And so yeah, he got his in the end.
Yeah. All-timer main event.
Yeah.
I think even the wrestling beforehand, just Cody and Roman, I thought that was fantastic. I loved all the overbooked nonsense. I loved the finish. I loved the ending of it. And it's so the right call. It doesn't feel weird. Like seeing Cody with that belt.
It didn't feel corny. It didn't feel cheesy. It just like every time something happened, I was like, yeah, like, oh my gosh. Like it was fan service done right.
Yeah. So I really hope this new era that they've been talking about is going to happen. We got a draft coming up in a few months or a few weeks. We always hope the draft matters, but I think this is one of the times where it actually might matter.
Yeah.
So, WWE is in a really, really good spot right now. Incredibly good spot.
Did you catch Raw?
I didn't catch all of it. I caught some highlights. So I saw the Awesome Truth segment where they with John Cena.
Yeah.
Cena. I watched the last 8 minutes of the Rock and Cody promo because that was on YouTube. And I watched the ending of the main event where Punk cost Drew.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I watched the first hour and a half, and then I caught highlights of everything else. I was glued to the TV. That whole 40+ minute segment, couldn't stop watching. It was just magnetizing.
Yeah.
What do you think, Rock handed Cody?
I didn't come up with this theory, but it's probably the best theory I've heard. He handed him a little bit of, Roman's necklace that he wears.
Oh, yeah.
He handed him a piece of that because he said, you'd be able to tell what it is just by me feeling it. You don't have to show it. And don't break my heart again. Obviously, he broke his heart by breaking Roman Reigns' title reign and taking the title away from the bloodline. Yeah. What do you think?
Man, I like your theory. So I had two. One's hilarious and one's kind of also hilarious.
Is one of them the SD card with the footage of Punk at All In?
No. One was a used dude wipe.
You told me that one. You don't need to show him what it is. It's like, yeah, because it's probably gross.
And the other one, the beautiful AEW diamond ring from MJF.
Oh, and he feels the 8. How did The Rock get it? How did The Rock
knows?
get it?
It's probably not, but my headcanon, I'm still holding strong for MJF.
He might. You never know. But this was a fantastic WrestleMania. Fantastic. Yeah. I'm really glad it went off so well. I don't think there were calls that I weren't making, but I don't think they were bad. And I think that's really well done. As if it's like, oh, I didn't want Sami Zayn to win. It was still a great match, and I'm still fine with it. I didn't want Waller and Theory to win, but it made sense. And I hope they can do well with it. Like every single match had a good ending. So
yeah, the other part I liked about that match too, to rewind a little, was once they won the belt, they weren't out. They kept trying to go for the next one too. I was like, oh wow, that'd be a weird twist.
Yeah. Taking them both off of Judgment Day and putting them both on the Waller in Theory. Do you have? I think it's time. Highlight and low light. Oh. I think I'm just gonna say my highlight would always be Cody Rhodes winning. So to shine a light on something else, that's the obvious one, right? It's up here. We're gonna go for my next best thing, and I'm giving it to that stupid triple threat. I loved that triple threat so much. I think when you want your celebrity involvement at Mania, that was the perfect way to do it.
Yeah.
So that was my highlight. My low light, I don't want it to be Jimmy and Jay because I wanted to like it, but I think it kind of has to be Jimmy and Jay because it was just kind of crap and lifeless, and at least Jay won.
Yeah, yeah, I can agree with you on the low light. I'm right there with you. I just maybe my expectations were too high. Like I said, I was hoping for Cody and Dustin Rhodes. Like by the end there, where they'd be hugging and bleeding, and it would have been a bloodbath, and it would have been this just emotional roller coaster. And we kind of got a bit of a super kick party, and then a really insincere spot at the end.
Yeah,
It
where
could have
where
been better.
where everyone saw right through it, but
Yeah,
the other guy in the ring, and
yeah,
that you hate it when that happens because then they just look dumb. But I would say what they did for Jay in the main event and what they did for Jay in Raw after doesn't matter. Like
no,
that doesn't matter anymore. All
yeah,
they need to know, Jay beat his brother at Mania. Doesn't matter how the match was. Jay helped Cody win at Mania.
yeah,
Jay won a number. Like that's all that matters.
yeah.
I have a new low light.
Ooh.
Not enough Takeshita.
Yes.
Which that's my I don't have an actual low point for AEW, but Takeshita wasn't on the show, so I guess I'll go with that.
Fair.
Which is a good thing, right?
Yeah.
That's when a Dynamite is so good. I'm like, there wasn't anything bad on it, so there wasn't my favorite wrestler on it.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything bad on this Mania, so but my favorite wrestler wasn't on it.
Yeah. Then my highlight would be Io Sky doing whatever the hell it was she did to get out of that rose plant. That was unreal.
See, okay,
Unreal.
I can explain it. She took the move and just didn't hurt. It didn't hurt her. That's how
It
she got it.
it was amazing. I love that whole match. It was pretty cool. I think when I start like going back through it, I'm gonna rewatch that for sure. Gonna watch all the Cody stuff, and yeah, probably the triple threat.
Also, we'll take it again, aside from Cody, because I'm sure that's the obvious answer for both of us. What title win are you most excited to see the future for?
Ooh, oh, the future. Ooh, that's an excellent question. Kind of interested to see where Sammy goes. Uh, yeah, obviously he's got Gable in his immediate future, but I don't think he'll drop it to him. So
Yeah, and it's nothing to uh, disparage the Awesome Truth, but their tag team win has 1 month reign written all over it. So I'm excited to see who beats them. I'm excited to see where they go with the draft, and I'm really excited to see who that beats them. And I hope they just start doing stuff with the tag team belts now.
yeah,
Because it was nice that the Judgment Day had him. It made him look good, but they didn't really defend him that often. So I kind of just hope we get that again, you know?
yeah,
They split them. I'm
yeah,
excited that they
yeah.
split
It
them.
was like literally just a split into two transitional champions. We're gonna do the draft, and then we'll probably do the real shit later.
Yeah. I hope it's one of those where like I'm happy that R-Truth and Miz won it. They're not gonna have a long reign, and I'm excited for who beats them.
Yeah.
Another highlight, CM Punk. He was excellent.
Yeah.
Like he
Yeah.
was I
I didn't picture
Gable.
him getting physical. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, he's got that brace on. Like, oh, whoa.
Well, he said he's gonna heal faster than everyone thinks, which that I hope.
Yeah.
I know CM Punk is big on his health, but I think he's kind of caught onto something with this Drew feud. I think he's like, they let me say whatever I want, so I'm motivated. I want
Yeah.
to be here. So I think them getting CM Punk was such a good get. I think it's partially why it's not like a big reason, but it's a reason why WWE is so hot right now.
Oh yeah. And putting him with Drew. Oh man, stroke of genius. But him tweeting mid match. By the way, we didn't talk about that.
We forgot where he's
Yeah.
like bored at work, lol, and then 3 hours later he just went fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, that pairing, stroke of genius. Those two guys are both so good at just speaking their mind and coming off genuine. Oh
Yeah.
man.
Unless you have anything else, I have one more question to ask before we get to the conclusion. Did Drew resign?
Yeah.
I don't think you do Clash at the Castle in Glasgow, which is his actual home country,
Yeah.
without re-signing that idiot. So
Yeah.
I hope. That's all I'm going to say is I hope, because as much as I love Drew, and as much as I think he'd do well in AEW is too crowded right now.
Yeah. They don't
Like
use their big men very well.
they're even kind of Like they're not, but I feel like they're not far away from choking out Swerve and pushing him down the card, which is sad. But you got like Osprey and Okada and the Bucks, like, and then Omega's gonna come back. They're all firing at all cylinders, and not like I don't think Swerve is as good as them, but I think he just might get pushed down the card a little, even as top champ. So what would Drew McIntyre do there? Whereas in WWE, he is a top guy.
Yeah.
He's got an amazing character change. He's got an amazing gimmick right now. He's cutting the best promos in his career. Could he transfer that over to AEW? Could he transfer that back to TNA? I don't think so. I think this gimmick has to work in WWE because he can't go to AEW and go, oh, I won a title in front of no one, and then I won it again, and then I got it stolen. Like, no one's going to care in AEW because it's not a title that's in AEW.
Yeah. No, I don't think. Yeah. No, he's where he needs to be.
I hope he resigned. That's all I'm going to say. I think he did, but I really hope he did.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else you want to add about Mania or Mania at Raw after Mania or future going forward?
I'm excited, and like I said, I'm not going to watch everything because that's just too much content a week. But I'm back on board with the Fed, man. It's amazing.
Yeah. One more. Who's Cody's first opponent?
Ooh. Oh man. I don't know. First opponent or first like real good feud?
Backlash. Who does he fight at Backlash?
Oh, Backlash. Shoot.
It's kind of hard because they didn't set anything up.
Yeah. Maybe like a Solo or something. Like now he needs to get away from. Like I want to see his first like real meaty feud is Gunther. Like Gunther's moves up now, like goes into the title picture. But I think that's like a first meaty feud, or he'll either go to that or Drew.
I don't want to see Gunther lose.
Yeah,
you know?
True.
And I don't want to see Cody lose.
Yeah.
I would say you need someone who can take a loss but is still pretty like intimidating. Bobby Lashley.
Ooh.
You just keep them both on the same brand, and Bobby's like, hey, I wanted a title shot the entire time Roman was there, but he never gave it to me. How about you?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good pull.
I think that's who I would pick because it's someone who Cody can beat, and everyone would be like, yeah, it's okay that Cody beat Bobby. We don't really want Bobby to win right now, but it'd be a fun match, and it would be a big name and a big guy for Cody to beat that I don't think he has.
Yeah, that'd be cool as heck to see.
All right. Well, I think that about does it for our WrestleMania review. So just on to little handiwork. I unfortunately will not be here for the next two reviews for Dynamite or Collision. I will be on vacation. So leave it up to what's yours and Dave's name when it's just you two?
I don't know that we've come up with a witty name.
Because Dave and I, we're the Mega Powers.
Oh, nice.
You and I, we're the two-man power trip.
Okay.
So what you'll have to come with that, but it'll just be Dave and Chad for Dynamite and Collision. So make sure to tune into that. We already have the thumbnail picked out. It's just gonna be the CM Punk footage, so that's pretty nice.
Nice.
Make sure to check us out on all audio options. So we're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Apple Podcasts, Apple Music. We're on all of that. Make sure to support us by leaving a like or elbow dropping that like button, giving us a subscribe, or even power bombing that subscribe button. And how about you submit those comments and ask us any question you want? We'll answer them. Just make sure they're clean. And other than that, check out our short form videos. We're making plenty of top fives. What's the last top five you uploaded? And can you give us a tease of the next one you're working on?
Oh, yeah. So I just did, I wouldn't say top five, more like spotlight to 5 of my favorite indies promotions.
Oh, yeah.
I was really proud of that one. I thought it turned out really good. Then the next one I'm doing, I couldn't narrow it down to 5, so it's actually going to be a 2-parter. So 2 top 5s or a top 10. Top 10 blood feuds in wrestling.
Ooh, that'll be fun. Better have Steve Austin on there because you could have Austin Rock, Austin Hart.
Yeah. Austin name redacted.
Ooh. You could have, well, obviously, Alicia Fox versus Cameron. That's a blood feud. You got Nikki Bella versus Brie Bella. Jimmy Uso versus Jay Uso, fresh off of that.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for that. I think there's plenty of wrestling history you can pull from. I'm gonna pull the curtain back. I did see a big list of names that Chad was thinking about. It's not just WWE and AEW. It's a big. He's reaching. He's going out. So make sure to check
so much
this out.
research. I learned a lot about wrestling history.
That's a two-parter I can't wait for. Anything else? Dynasty's coming up. That'll be fun.
Yeah. No, lots to look forward to. Oh shoot, we got Prestige this weekend.
I will not be there.
Yeah,
I will be on vacation. But
Roseland 8. You throw some names that we're gonna get to see though.
Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
So jealous of you.
I do believe A1 Leo Rush, Minoru Suzuki. Probably, I want to say Drexel if you're into the local stuff, and Namira, all the good stuff. Midnight Heat.
Midnight Heat's the best tag team in the world. In case you don't know, they're the best.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think that's about it for me. You got anything else? I think we did all the business keeping.
Make sure to check out I already said, the weekly podcast, Dynamite and Collision. Chad and I also do a duo WWE cap. This is kind of the WWE cap for the week because we're just reviewing WrestleMania and talking about some big stuff that happened on the Raw after Mania. But make sure to check that out every week. And that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me, Chad. This has been a great time.
Oh, thank you. That was a really fun one.
Just a reminder to go back and watch. I'll never do that again. So if you want to see it, it's at the beginning of this video. The sour, spicy death challenge.
Awful.
We had to stop recording because I had to catch my breath because I was talking about all these. I was looking at my notes for the Rhea Ripley Becky Lynch match, and I was like, I don't know what any of this means. I was just scribbling. I need to focus because I'm dying.
That was
like
legendary.
I'm like Becky Lynch with the 102-degree fever. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much. Like and subscribe. Have a great day, and bye.
Peace.